The next chapter is about to begin. Join us live every Tuesday and Thursday for brand new episodes of the American Contractor Show. Our mission is to bring you the latest tools, innovations, and knowledge to help you become the most informed contractor in your market. Knowledge is the ultimate power, and we are connecting you with the most knowledgeable minds in our industry. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. American Contractors, I hope you're ready. This one's for you.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
Good afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Frank Gaetano here at the Hail Palace for your 12 p.m. daily hail forecast, brought to you as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and Art of the Supplement from Balanced Claims. They are linked below in the description of this video, so make sure you go check them out. We thank them so much for helping us make all of this possible and being able to do these videos on a daily basis. Let's jump right into today's weather's headlines. We got a marginal risk today in Florida once again. This is day 3 in a row of Central Florida having a risk for severe hail. It's a pretty low-end risk, but we'll talk about that a little bit. And then for tomorrow, we have a wind threat as a cold front moves across the northeastern portion of the United States. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then I hinted at this in the description of the video, but end-of-week action. Severe risk return for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Also, possibility for Oklahoma City to get on the action. Generally an I-35 corridor type of day on Friday, as we do have some moisture return and the possibility of that severe risk. And then on Saturday, that moves towards the Gulf Coast. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Let's take a look at our current conditions right now. We do have a swath of snow occurring over in the Midwest, a little bit of mixed precipitation in northeastern Oklahoma, and then those storms that are currently ongoing down in central Florida Peninsula area. Let's take a look at that as we do see these storms happening right along the I-4 corridor here near Orlando, generally tracking eastward across the state. Nothing severe right now, and honestly, you probably won't see a lot of severe weather in Florida today, but the risk is there, a fairly low-end risk. Let's zoom out and take a look at our current temperatures around the country. Cold, 26 in Denver, chilly 30s into the lower 40s as you work further towards the northeast across where we're seeing that mixed precipitation and snow. 72 in New York City, that's pretty nice, 71 in Atlanta, and then our high comes in at 84 in Miami, just south of where all those storms are occurring in Florida. If we look at the dew points, pretty dry across the strong majority of the country, with the exception of far southern Texas and the Florida Peninsula. 72 dew point in Miami, 16 super dry in Minneapolis right now. But we will see that moisture return to the central and southern plains towards the end of this week and again into next week. And we'll take a look at that at the end of the video for that moisture return. Here's today's hail forecast, just a small little area across central Florida. Let's zoom in on that. $1 to $half size hail is possible with these storms as we take a look at a low chance for Orlando and a low chance for Tampa. There's a front where these storms are south of, and that front is hanging just to the north of the I-4 corridor there. So Orlando does have a chance, but most of the storms are actually probably going to be south of Orlando. So we'll see if anything can fire up in Tampa or get as far north as Orlando. And we'll talk about today's wind risk as well as we move forward here, if my clicker will work. And there we go. Here's our wind forecast for today. Potentially, again, a low risk, but potentially gusts up to the 55 60 mile per hour range if a storm can really get going and you get those downdraft winds over in Port St. Lucie and Tampa. Low risk for both of those cities today. And we're going to take a look at the city forecast for Orlando. Up to $half size hail is possible, so pretty low end spectrum as far as severe hail goes. Low chance of that happening, and very low chance of seeing anything over golf ball size. Hopefully we can get a storm to really get going, and maybe we'll see a ping pong ball size stone out of one of those storms. Let's take a look at that future radar for today. Here we see the storms going. This is showing 3:30 p.m. in central Florida, and we do see those storms south of I-4, and then they work their way eastward through the evening, and this is 9:30 p.m. So we see that stuff work off the coast this evening, and that is that for the risk for Florida. And let's take a look at tomorrow's wind forecast. We go to the northeast, where we see a low-end risk for New York and possibly Baltimore, if we can see those storms actually fire on the cold front far enough south to get to Baltimore, D.C., and the Delmarva Peninsula area. Up to 60, 65 mile per hour winds will be possible with any of those storms that can really get going. And we can take a look at what the radar is going to look like for tomorrow as we see the cold front start to fire around noon in northeastern Pennsylvania and central New York. That's going to push its way eastward through the afternoon hours and then get off the coast during the evening hours, and then that's that for that risk. And then after that, Thursday looks pretty quiet. But let's take a look at the dew points. This is what I was talking about earlier. Currently very dry across the country. So this is showing approximately 9 p.m. on Wednesday. And then we're going to start to see that moisture start to tickle back up into the southern plains as we look around evening, dinner time on Thursday. We do see that moisture starting to build back up in the southern plains. Now let's move forward to Friday. That dry air moves out, and then this is Friday evening around 6 p.m. We see a nice sharp dry line here in central Texas, central western Texas. So this is probably where the storms are going to be firing off around 5, 6 p.m. on Friday around this area. So Oklahoma City is at risk, Dallas is at risk, generally central Texas area is at risk. And then that's going to transition to the southeast for Saturday as we still see this moisture sitting around here on the Gulf Coast. So we will see severe weather somewhere in this area on Saturday is what I'm thinking. And then that's going to move through. And I really want to look at this, where this is going to stop. This is going to stop around 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Look at all this moisture return into the United States, and this is a little far out, so there's still a lot to be seen and how the model runs continue to come in with this. But this is a lot of moisture getting pretty far up north, up into like northern Minneapolis, northern Minnesota, and we see this moisture, and there's a nice sharp dry line here. If this slows down and that pulls back a little bit to the west, we could see a pretty significant severe weather day at the beginning of next week if this pans out and starts to look even better for Tuesday. So how's that going to look as far as risks go? No severe weather really expected for Thursday. We're still waiting for that moisture to come back up into the southern plains on Thursday. Let's take a look at Friday's risk. This is the preliminary swath is what I'm looking at now. Oklahoma City down to Dallas, down to Austin, over towards eastern Texas. So all these areas look to be at risk for Friday as that system starts to move through. Into Saturday, we're going to transition to the southeast in the Gulf Shore states. So this is generally where I'm thinking preliminarily where we're going to see severe weather on Saturday. But still got several days till this actually comes up. So make sure you stay in tune with us, and hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at HailTrace for all of those platforms if you want to reach out to us there. Or you can call us at 855-334-4245. Hit us up in email, info@hailtrace.com. Or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go straight to hailtrace.com and get in contact with us there. I'm meteorologist Frank Gaetano. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.